folks, it's Jim with RawHyde Adventures today with a riding tip for those of you who like to take your GS into the backcountry. We're going to talk about how you restart these big, heavy, clumsy motorcycles when you're on a steep hill. It's a challenge for a lot of folks because many people who are buying these bikes are really street riders who haven't developed the sense of finesse with clutch and throttle that they need to ride well in the backcountry. But BMW has provided a couple of aids that we'll talk about. There's a thing called hill restart mode with the new bikes, and then you'd be surprised what traction control can do to help you climb hills. So let's get started. We'll show you a few things. So we're going to try something for the uphill restart using the hill restart program in rain mode on a really rocky, chunky surface. Now, the good news about rain mode is that it limits the amount of wheel spin that can occur, but it's a pretty aggressive wheel spin elimination. So sometimes you may not be able to climb a hill like this in rain mode because you do need the wheel spinning and driving forward. So we're going to test it out and see what happens trying to climb this hill in rain mode after the hill start program has released the bike. So the bottom line, if you have to stop on a hill, you must leave the engine running. You just grab a big handful of front brake, squeeze and hold until you see a circle with a capital H appear on the left-hand side of your display. At that point, the bike is locked in place. You can even put it into neutral, as I have just done, and take your hands off the bars. You're comfortably locked in place. So, what we're going to do now is restart. So, to make it easy, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to put this bike in rain mode to eliminate as much wheel spin as I can for this first display. Now, the way this is going to work from here is I'm going to kick it into first gear. Now, as I begin to apply throttle and release the clutch, we're going to see that H begin to blink. 2,000 RPM, a little bit of engine load. There we go. The brakes have released and off I go. Okay, that was a little awkward. I don't know if you noticed, but it almost sounded as though the bike was dying a couple of times, and I almost lost all my momentum. So on a really rocky, chunky uphill climb, rain mode is not the best way to climb the hill. So now we're going to switch it to enduro mode, and we'll see how it goes that way. We are now in enduro mode, which allows a lot more wheel spin on the rear. So, let's see what happens this time. Okay, even with enduro mode, there is some limitation for wheel spin. It stumbled a couple times going up the hill because the algorithms, the RPM versus the wheel spin, traction control kicked in, stalled my momentum. So now, we're not going to use the hill start mode. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way by just monitoring the clutch and throttle, and let's see how we get up this. Now, the deal when you're doing it by hand, so to speak, is that you want to start the bike, keep your foot on the rear brake so that you don't roll backwards. You have to apply the rear brake. We're going to start the bike. We're going to raise the RPM to about 1,500 to 2,000. And then we're gonna ease the clutch out gently. And as the RPM begins to drop, like it is right now, the bike is now in the friction zone holding itself in place. I'm gonna release the clutch a little bit more and give it a little gas. That actually worked best of all. Well, folks, I hope you learned something there about some of the technology that works on the new BMW GSs. But I gotta tell you, in retrospect, testing the hill restart program against rain mode, against the enduro mode, and against just doing it myself the old-fashioned way, I think I have a little better control, personally, doing it the old-fashioned way. But if you're getting started in this, by all means, use the technology. So, if you'd like to know a little bit more about us, we're easy to find on the web. It's simply rawhide-offroad.com, or give us a call. We'd love to talk to you, answer any questions you may have. But otherwise, thanks for listening.